Now let's discuss what's a variable and how we can declare a variable and how we can initialize a variable. A variable means it's a name for a storage location memory. Inside the memory, we store the data. We need to represent that area with a name. That is variable. Normally, memory address is used for accessing, but that memory address is a big number, so it won't be that much easy to use the memory number. So instead of that, we need to use a name for that memory location. That is the variable names. So it represents storage location whose value can be manipulated during program run. Anyway, when we store the data, we need to manipulate that data. Then we need to use those data in calculations. So we can use variable names for accessing that particular data. Now, how we can declare a variable? Look at the syntax for declaring a variable. The syntax is first we need to specify the data type. First, we need to specify the data type. Then, after a space, we need to mention the variable name only. Also, then we can put a semicolon to denote the end of the line. Look at the example here, int num then semicolon. So int means the data type, which data type we want to use, and the variable name. Variable name, how we can form that I already discussed. So using that rules, we can form variable names. So here number is the variable name. Then I have, so the meaning of this line is I want a variable to store an integer and the name for that location is number. Look at the second example. Here we are using float a comma b comma c. See, if you want to declare multiple variables of the same type, you can mention these in single lines, each variable names separated with commas. This is also possible. Now, how we can initialize a variable. That means initialization means we want to give some starting values for that variable. So how we can give some values at the declaration itself. So look at this example given here. Int num because 45, then semicolon. The int num, look at this part only. This is declaration of the number. Then along with that, we are using a equal sign and assigning the value 45 to that. So what internally happens is, look at this figure table given here. I have denoted 1000, like that. Actually, memory address, it's a big number. So for demonstration purpose, I am using thousands, small numbers, 1000, 1001. So these are the memory location. Assume that these are the memory location. Each memory location have a address, 1000, 1001, like that. And suppose I am declaring a number as integer. That means 2 bytes needed for storing this one unit. If one unit represent 1 byte, then 2 units needed for representing the integer. That means 2 units. Suppose we are using 1002 and 2003 locations for storing that number, then we are assigning 45 to that. So the value 45 will be assigned to that particular location. So this is how we declare a variable and we can initialize along with the declaration. Now let's see a simple program that finds the sum of two numbers. So let's see line by line. Anyway, before starting the program, it is better to give a command line like this. Then we need to include the header files, necessary and header files. In this case, I'm including iostream.h and also conio.h. I will explain why I included that. Anyway, iostream.h is needed for representing cin and couts. So in this program, I have used an extra header file. Then our void main, this main function we are going to write here. Then definitely the curly bracket, curly braces. Then here main program, the main program, the executable statements need to be written. Execution always starts from this main function. Then first statement, it's a new thing to you that this is a function CLRSCR. The meaning of the function of this function is clearing the screen. CLRSCR, clear screen function. So this will, whatever is there in the output screen, everything will be removed by this function. That is the functionality of this particular function. Now, next, I want to declare the variables. See, I want to add two numbers. Definitely two numbers need two variables for holding the numbers needed. Then another variable for holding the sum of that two numbers. So here I'm using the variables n1 as the first number, n2 as the second number, and the sum is stored to s. So I declare all are integers. So I declare it as int n1 comma n2 comma s. Then I put the semicolon. Now after I have already declared the locations, now the next process is I want to input the numbers. So better I give a message to the user. Somebody else may be running our program. So we have given a message see out, enter the first number, that whatever we are giving in this double quotes will be outputted on see out. See out, in last class I explained what is this see out. See out is the standard output unit, that means the screen. Then enter the first number. So definitely the user will understand what to do. We need to input the first number. So we are accepting the number using this statement. Look at this statement. C in, then the two arrows greater than symbols and n1. The meaning of this C in is standard input unit. So from this standard input unit, we are accepting that number, that standard input unit means the keyboard. From the keyboard, that whatever have entered, that will be transferred to N1. In the same way, we are inputting the giving a message to input the second number also. Then we are inputting the second number, C in N2. Then after getting the number, definitely we can form the sum of that two numbers. So simple equation, just like in maths, s equals n1 plus n2. So sum is there in ns, but we need to display it out. Then only the user can see the screen. So we are displaying that using a message. See out, the sum of n1 and n2 is s. So whatever value is there in n1 and n2 and s, that will be displayed there. Then I have given here one more function, get ch. This is useful when we click the when when a character is entered, it waits for a character. That's the meaning of get ch. The benefit of that is by that time you can see the output. Otherwise you have to go to the window screen, window menu, and you need to select the output screen, and then only you can see the answers. That means the output. But by giving this get ch, it will wait for a character. By that time you can see the output of that particular program.